Hello, my friends. I'm Christine Stevens from Upbeat Drum Circles and Global Rhythm Sangha. And I wanted to offer some tips for spiritual drumming. I think that it all started for me with this drum. This drum I picked up at a store in Utah when I was very young and didn't know I could play the drum. In fact, I thought I didn't have rhythm, but I felt drawn to this beautiful drum. It's an elk hide. I found it in a store in Utah and I bought it. And I carried it for a while before I actually played it. And I think that happens. Sometimes we buy a drum and it takes a little time before we start to play. So I think it's interesting that that was my first purchase of a drum. It started with the earth, the ground, very earthy drum, animal hide and wood. And for so long, my spiritual practice was just to wake up in the morning, go outside and play this drum beat. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. And face east. And call in the new day with the drum, with gratitude. Greet the day. It started here. And then as I learned frame drum from Lane Redman and Marla Lee later, I learned the frame drum. This is a frame drum painted with the symbols, the Tibetan symbols for the directions, the 4 directions in the center of the Dakini mandala, the enlightened feminine, that I study with Lama Tsultrim. This is a very sacred drum to me, very spiritual drum. Hare Nisa, Hare Nisa, Hare Nisa, Hare Nisa. So this drum really brought me more of the air element because the Dakini is sky being, has one leg on the earth and one leg up, lifted up between the worlds. And this drum is another sacred drum practice for me, the Ashiko that was gifted to me by Arthur Hall. This is one of his prototypes, early on drums. And I really do love the fire of playing these djembes. I mean, what a great groove. It's interesting that so much of what becomes sacred is sometimes things that you purchase and sometimes things that are given to us. So generally I say that the spiritual practice of drumming begins with the drum you play. Having a relationship, blessing that drum, being grateful to that drum. Because how we begin is so important. Just taking a moment and putting your hand on your heart and connecting to your drum and saying thank you. And honoring your teachers, honoring the elements that made the drum. And I think secondly, it's where you choose to sit and drum. I face the east when I greet the day, or I might sit here in front of a fireplace. Where spot feels sacred to you that you can feel comfortable. Maybe sitting on a cushion or in a space that feels sacred, maybe lighting a candle, burn some incense. Just, the way the context changes the experience, right? And then thirdly is the intention. When you sit as a spiritual practice with your drum, it, boom, changes how you play. I like to say I'm in the temple of the drum because I'm just surrounded by these drums. And so in this moment, this is my temple. This is my drum temple. But all over the world, I remember going in Japan and seeing these enormous taiko drums in all the temples there, and just realizing that the drum has always been in the temple in a sense. And so when I carry that drum, I feel like I'm carrying my drum temple. So that intention is so important. And the last thing is just what you play. I mean, I play rhythms that help me connect to the divine, that support a chant, or that help me pray, or that support a feeling of groundedness or heartbeat. And I also play rhythms that help me feel joy and upliftment. And that is a big part of our Global Rhythm Sangha, is to extend our spiritual vocabulary. This day is important to me, and I want to start by clearing the energy, and I play Clear the Energy. Soli Wollen from Guinea, that Monette taught us in Global Rhythm Sangha. I love having these beats. So I hope you'll join me this year in Global Rhythm Sangha and learn more spiritual drumming. It's our birthright.